are here because you guys have done well and we've completed the program. So we wanted to celebrate the success and also make sure that, we pass on this to the incoming scholars and get your suggestions. So we have Erin with us. So I'd want to thank Erin because this wouldn't have been possible, without her. Like some of you know, we started designing this program in 2018, and it took all of this while, and she was persistent, and she followed up and she made this possible. So thank you, Erin.
Thank you very much, Pooja. I actually would like to start by thanking a few people who made this program possible. The first would be thanks to Craig Newmark and Craig Newmark Philanthropies for making this program possible by his initial and continuing gift to the Women in Tech initiative. And I would like to thank Pooja and Professor Billy Moria, because when I reached out to them at Weatherhead for designing a program like this, Professor Billy Moria directly, just recommended Pooja and to be part, to develop this program and to deliver this program. And that was, I feel so lucky to know you, Pooja, and then this was an excellent program that you developed. So thank you very much. And thanks to Professor Billy Moria for all her input and her, support for this program. Thank you all to be part of this program. This was a volunteer program, and you actually, participated in the program and kept it up. I know that was a challenge, but from what I've heard from many of you and from Pooja as well, that you were all very engaged and it went very well, even though we had to switch to an online platform. So thank you very much.
Why did you enroll in this program? And what were you hoping to learn from it?
I joined because it's a program that has a lot of potential and it could go in a lot of different directions. And I was talking with Erin about it, and she was super excited about and inspiring about all the different ways we could grow. And it's something that I don't usually get out of my more technical classes. So I wanted that experience, as well as meeting other people who are CS and EE at CASE.
Absolutely. To second that, I'm very much in the same place, because it's such a great opportunity and it's a really great starting point for anyone else who comes down the future. One of the other reasons that I chose to join and participate in any of the Women in Tech initiatives is that I find them so incredibly important. As someone who's a little farther in their academic career than some in the program, I knew that I wanted to be there as a resource for other women, because I have had so many questions and so many difficulties that I feel could have been avoided or answered if someone else had been a little farther along and had been willing to lend me a helping hand. So the opportunity to build a network and help other women who are coming and dealing with the same issues I do seemed extremely important. So it's a fantastic place to do that.
Yes, I saw the program as a really good opportunity to practice standards and also what that means as a woman in tech and in STEM. And I think that ultimately, building a network with people who came from CASE, who came from where you came from, and who can really relate to what you went through in your curriculum as well as where you're going in your career was going to be super helpful, and it definitely was.
So the next question is kind of one of my favorites. What were the top 3 takeaways that you learned in this program?
One of the biggest takeaway that I noticed was one of the reasons why mostly people enrolled was networking. I've made many connections in this group that will last outside also of this class, and as a freshman, just getting to know all of my seniors or an upperclassmen's journey was really beneficial, and I got to learn a lot from them, learn from their experiences and what their views were about the whole professional development and things and consequences they faced throughout their journey. The second would be interview tips. I know we had a specific session for interviews, and that really helped, knowing and talking to your interviewer and just the ways that you answer or some points that you have to mention. There are many interviews in line that will come and are in place, so that really helped. And the third was just a confidence boost. For women in tech, it's very hard to just maintain that level as men do. So just learning all about all of the specific slides we had and all the conferences we had. I got to learn a lot about how to maintain that professional board.
I would say networking, totally. It's really nice to kind of get to know other women in like our fields that outside of just strictly class and clubs and even case in general. It's kind of nice to hear about their experiences outside of that and to actually commit time to that. That was really awesome to have 2.5 hours every other week to like sit down and be like, oh, hey, how are you doing? Let's check in. Let's talk about what's been affecting us now. And how do we, take skills from this and attribute them to our work in the future. I'd say that negotiating was one that I really, really liked. That's something I really struggle with. Like I was negotiating with my landlord about my lease a few weeks ago and that came in so handy, like totally. So thank you. And then on top of that, I would just say confidence as well. It's nice to hear, it's nice to have a group of people to support that confidence and also to have almost a reinforced knowledge of the fact that we all don't feel very confident sometimes. It's just nice to have that. So thank you.
I think one big takeaway that I had was like learning to think not just like as a prospective employee, but also like kind of think about like what the employer is thinking about. Because I feel like often it's like almost set up as like us against them. And it's more like working together and like really learning like what their perspective might be can be very helpful in like approaching an interview or a negotiation and networking. So that was definitely really useful. And also just like second to everyone else, like the network that we built here, I feel like was super fun and super useful. All the upperclassmen have like great advice and great experiences. And I know that like I can reach out to like any of these women down the road if I need advice or need help, or if they've been someplace that I might want to go, would be very useful.
So I think for me, my first thing would be just meeting everyone and hearing everyone's stories. I don't know, there's like something like special to me, like that I think is special about getting to know everyone who's at Case, who's like a woman in tech. I don't know. I always really enjoy getting to meet everyone, and I don't know how to explain it, but I really really happy that I get to meet more people and learn more about them, hear more about their stories, and kind of like what they want in life, where they want to go, what are their dreams. I really enjoyed that. Other than that, I liked hearing about like networking and also kind of how to present yourself like later in life, like your brand, what you want to do, because I've been thinking about that lately, as it relates to me and then also other people who I know are already in the industry and how they've set up their brand and how maybe I want to set up my brand when I get like more towards in the future. And the third thing, I don't know. I just like want to reemphasize it was just nice talking to everyone at like every like 2 weeks or something. I really like that part. That was definitely my favorite part, getting to know everyone.
I think on top of all of that, like the negotiations and the networking, those are really important to me. And then also just like meeting other people that are in the same boat as you and knowing that they've been through some experiences that you'll probably end up going through and kind of getting advice on that before you even hit that point. Like especially with like Priya's experience already and like all these other people who have already had internships and like are going to be starting their full-time jobs soon. Like it was really great to be able to talk to them and hear about their struggles and how to kind of prevent it for yourself in the future. So kind of on top of like the confidence part, just being able to hear these stories and how they got over and got through things that we'll probably encounter soon.
I almost second everything that was shared. I think the kind of sharing you guys had, the conversations that you guys were having, as a group of seniors sharing their experiences and asking questions and kind of, relating to each other's stories, that has been like fundamental in the learning. And also, like, I know we all made like a group on LinkedIn and, like the network. I think at the last session, we did realize that this is such good social capital that we've built, like this support system, and it's pretty diverse. So I agree with all that you've shared. As a result of this program, what are you more interested in learning and pursuing as a result? What do you want to learn more? And, it came up to you and you felt like, okay, I need to learn more about this, or I need to practice this more. Anything that stood out for you?
I think something that stood out for me was in all of the talk about negotiation, as well as in interviewing and networking. It came up a lot. Just a common theme among some of those topics was presenting the value that you bring people as an applicant, or even just as a contact. And that's something that I think I can always be better at, or can work at more, because it's something that I hadn't really thought of as much in the context of quantifying like, you're always trying to get a position, and I think, like Noelle said, a lot of times you're kind of pitching it as you, like, versus the company, but realistically, like, you're trying to present what you can do for them. And I think that that's something that I'm definitely going to work on doing a little bit more, and hearing other people's stories about how they presented that information in different situations was really helpful.
I think I'd definitely like to learn more about negotiating, particularly to see like different, I know we looked at a few strategies, but to see a wider array of strategies and examples of people are almost an example that feels more like attributable to me, because I can't, with the example that we saw, I can't look at that example and say, well, I brought this big customer in per se, especially in an early career, or even sometimes in the tech industry at all. So yeah, something like that would definitely be something that I would want to, keep digging into.
Yes, that's a great point. I completely agree, because there's so many scenarios in negotiation. Like we did like a salary one, but then there is so much more, right? It's so much complex. I agree. Negotiation and to a large extent networking. I think both of them like are so much work in progress. I second that.
Something I kind of want to keep learning about is, I feel like we touched upon it just like a little bit, but like not a lot, with good reason, just because it's like a weird topic to talk about, but just kind of how to navigate those like awkward conversations and situations like that, like pertain to like that, could have like a little hint of you being like a woman, and how that like kind of affects the conversation, or affects how the way someone interacts with you like within the workspace. I think that's like just like something always ongoing to learn about, but like I'm always interested, like why do we have like these differences, like why is it like so subconscious that these things happen, and I'm always just really interested in learning like more about that, and kind of the like maybe like the psychology behind that as well.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And there is so much there. Like your interest is like totally justified, because, these implicit associations that are there, there's like so much history behind it. And it's probably a great suggestion to include as a segment, to kind of be more conscious about where it comes from. It just makes everything like concrete in your head. So that's a great suggestion.
Another thing that we touched on, especially toward the end of the sessions, was how many resources that there are just at CASE. I think Priya took a class on networking, and just all the management opportunities that are just already part of the undergraduate curriculum. I would definitely want to explore those a lot more. I've got time to do it, and they all sound extremely useful.
So was there a specific session that really stuck out to you, and why? And I know like we've spoken about networking and negotiation skills, but if anybody else wants to mention something, you can jump in right now.
So I also have enjoyed those sessions, but this is a common trait that has happened in every session we've had, in every breakout discussion group that we've had in all of our sessions. I have really, really enjoyed the able to like interact with all the other fantastic women in this program and really relate to all of that. I have no idea what's happening in my class, or how do I find a job, or the what on earth is happening here kind of feelings, because I've either gone through that or I'm going through that now. And having that has been so incredible for me, to the point where I think that, like, I mean, I'm definitely really good friends with everyone, and it's just so fantastic to have this bond, which I don't think many women in our department, or if it's just outside of this program, really talk about. I don't know if it's just we're never given the opportunity, or it's just an awkward subject to talk about salaries or jobs or anything like that. So this specific thing that stuck out to me is just the willingness for us to be able to talk about these difficult subjects, and for everyone to be willing to learn and ask questions and grow from our shared experiences.
I think for me, uh, well, I say my favorite session would have been negotiation, but I wasn't able to go to that one. I was so sad because I was really hoping to see that one, just because we don't have a lot of that from, I feel like from the Career Center. I don't see like a lot of negotiation tips. We usually have to like set up meetings to talk about it. But like other than that, I think it's not like my favorite session. It's more of my favorite part of the sessions were like when we got to talk to everyone. Like I got to hear about like Maddie's like internship. I got to hear about Priya's like job like situation. I got to hear about Annika's like she's gonna be working in the same company as me, and I'm invested, and like I want to know like where you're gonna go next. And like I think that was like my favorite part of like all the sessions, is like when I got to talk to everyone and hear about their lives and like become invested about their career and where they're gonna go.
Yeah, and just to second Priya and Shay, I really also value the bond that all of us made and getting to know each other's experiences. And I realized this happened a lot in the last session, networking. We were just like more closer, I guess, and just more willing to share more information. And I kind of, even like the small things, like we mentioned, like building up our LinkedIn. I know Pooja, you and Priya mentioned this networking goddess, I think, Kimberly Riley, right? Yeah, I reached out to her and we connected on LinkedIn. So yeah, so I think that was my favorite session, the last one, just because it was more informative and just helpful in building the network. Because networking was one of the main reasons I enrolled here, to get to know each other and women in my field who also like to talk about professional development and who give value to like small topics like interviews and negotiation. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. I'm kind of going to jump in here and kind of, applaud and appreciate all of your willingness to share. And like Sanhita mentioned that we got closer, but, I could see that like also like from the second session, like you guys started opening up, and share. I think when we share each other's stories, it stands out, and then you kind of feel like you have that support system. So I'm sorry if I sometimes put some people in spot, but I guess, it helps to listen to each other's stories. And, like through your conversations, I ended up realizing that many of you have certain questions or have some experience. And, I kind of picked on that sometimes. But irrespective of that, I think this group of women was sharing like, uncensored, like raw experiences, and I think that's what we need to hear more often. So I want to thank you all to be that vulnerable and open with each other, and I hope that continues. So I just had to jump in and appreciate that fact. How would you summarize the program to a future student?
I think I would summarize this program as the kind of, if you have never thought about your professional development, this is the program to kickstart that. If you have thought a lot about your professional development as a person, this program is going to be refreshing and giving you different tips that you haven't heard before or maybe haven't come in contact with. I think it's a really accessible program. Like if you haven't done any professional development in the past, like maybe through internships or stuff like that, or gone through any of those courses or anything like that, but I also think there's a reason to take it even if you have. And I think that's a big point, because just hearing from you, Sunita, and definitely change what I'm saying if I'm paraphrasing you incorrectly. For like, I'm a senior, and Sunita, you're gonna be sophomore, correct?
Yeah, I'm an incoming sophomore, yeah.
And I got a lot out of this, and clearly you did too. And we're like at different places in our education at Case and just our time at Case. And I think that speaks to how important this kind of program is.
Truly, I agree.
To add on to that, like Maddie and I are in the same boat. We're 1 year out we're going in grad school, and we're a lot farther than some of the members in here, but I still found this so incredibly helpful. To summarize it to someone else, it would be, there's so many fantastic things that have come out of this, not just our network or our sharing of stories, but our understanding that there are women who consistently are going through that. And I've had classes where I'm the only woman in class, and it's been so fantastic to have the opportunity to talk to other people who have had very similar experiences. And if I were a freshman, I really wish someone would tell me to take this class or this program, just on the basis that I have been able to learn so much, not just about academics and work, but we've had discussions about our personal life and how that affects our careers, or how we need to hold ourselves in a certain atmosphere. And there's just been so many fantastic things that we have covered that I don't think I would have ever known about 5 years ago when I was a freshman. So it's very, very fulfilling, and it's a fantastic opportunity regardless of which level you're at.
Yeah, going off of that, I would say it was definitely surprising how relatable it was for all of us. And I think we are all able to both give and receive lots of advice over the course of these sessions. And also, shout out to Pooja, it was incredibly flexible. You always reevaluated after every single session. You were like, okay, how was this? And what do you want next? And I think starting, it was more of getting our foot in the door and how we approach the first job or internship. And I think we really wanted more of a focus on, like, once you're there, then what do you do? Because college pushes you for that first step, but then you're kind of like out. So we really wanted more of the negotiation once you're already in the atmosphere, how you change jobs or change positions, or just look to change your outlook on your current position. And you were great about constantly reevaluating what you were talking to us about.
Can I add to what I said before? And off of what you said, Ali, as well, and you, Priya, too. This is a must do. If this had been a program when I was a freshman, not only would I probably have tried to take it multiple times, because it probably is going to be different. I hope that there's like different aspects and it kind of evolves as you keep going. But it also would have given me people to follow up with. Like when I had an issue with a boss in one of my internships, like this would have been the resource that I would have went to. So I think it still will be the resource that I'll go to, these people in this group. And I really like that. So I think I would call this a must do as a female in STEM.
I think also we've all been to like smaller like professional development sessions. Like I've like been to talks about like networking. I've been to talks about like how to do interviews. But I feel like what differentiates this is like going through all of this together as a group, and also like having it be more long term, because like it's a lot more interactive. You get to like actually practice interviewing and negotiating with like people that you can build up trust with, and you just don't get that in a lot of those like smaller professional development sessions. I think for me that's like a little nerve-wracking because I'm generally a more like shy, soft-spoken person. These women all made it like really great and really comfortable to kind of put yourself out there. They're definitely like super understanding and super caring, and just made it a great space to share. So I think that's something that really special about this program, that some people might be like, oh, like, you know, I've been to other talks and like I've already like learned about networking, but like you really don't get all the same benefits that you would get in this program. So I would agree, definitely a must do.
Noelle, going off of that, do you guys all remember, like, it was one of our first activities, it was the 5-minute intro versus the 15-minute intro? Something around those time frames, not exactly sure what the numbers were, but it was, the 5-minute one was way harder to keep talking. because you knew that there was a time limit there. So you tried to cram it all in, and then your mind went blank and you didn't know what to talk about. And the 15-minute one, we all like really enjoyed, and we all got to know each other. And I think it goes off of what Noelle was saying, of the short talks, while useful, you don't have the same connection, and you can't really get the stories and get the people. And the long, for us, is what, like 6 2-hour sessions. Because of that, like we really got to know each other and got to talk.
No, I really liked that too. And I remember at that like same day, I think we did elevator pitchy stuff, and it felt kind of cool to experience that. And because like I've done the 30-second elevator pitch like before, but I kind of liked the way we did it in class, and where we had different timelines, because it helped me think about like, well, how would I want to kind of pitch myself to someone who I admire, who I want to work more with. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I 100% agree with all of that. I think to add, I would say that it's an opportunity to adjust your perspective and to prioritize different parts of professional development, and to be able to do that with others' experiences contributing is beyond valuable.
These are all such great points, and I agree with everything. And I want to thank you guys for being flexible as well. Like, you know, we were changing it, and we were talking about so many things. We were all at different levels, and you know, we were talking like research data, but then we were also talking like each other's examples. And you guys all of you as a group adapted so well. So again, thank you so much for that. And yeah, everything that was said, it was great to hear your experiences.
You all recognize the importance of networking, so I'm hoping that you'll be willing to be a resource for our students, our mentors for our students coming in. Since you went through the program, hopefully you will be willing to share your experiences if someone is having questions about the program or about their careers in general. So, and it looks like you're going to keep in touch and keep the network going with your, career-related questions, and the support. We need the support. We actually, we couldn't unfortunately have all of you in one night. So, and I just wanted to do it right after the finals to celebrate you all. But we have many other scholars this semester who couldn't be here on this call. But, we're celebrating all your achievements. So thank you for being part of the program.